Another edition of Off the Bench with Rem. Appreciate you coming by. A busy time of year. Busy man, too. You're doing a lot of running around these days. Over in Portland, right? Went to Seattle for the Apple Cup, all that stuff.
Staying busy.
Staying busy, but I appreciate you hanging out with us again during a very busy stretch for the team as well. I mean, their schedule, we knew it was going to be pretty stacked, I think, going into this year. But now that we're in the middle of it, we're seeing just how tough it is.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, coming off the PK 80, probably the most high-level competition you're going to get in a preseason tournament. And then you got Incarnate Word, which was a tough, scrappy team, but then to go play Friday against Creighton and then have to go to New York, travel, play Nova, and then finish off with UW. That's quite the non-conference schedule you got there.
You were at the Ohio State game, obviously a blowout for Gonzaga, which was a good thing to see to start a very tough tournament. Florida game was as good a regular season college basketball game you're going to see. OT against Texas, a Creighton game as well. What's really impressed you the way they've handled this stretch?
Well, there were so many question marks coming into the season and who's going to play where, who's going to do this. And I think guys just really embraced their role so far. And they just put their nose to the grindstone and they've done what needs to be done to win these games. And if that means taking a charge or diving on a loose ball, guys are sacrificing and they're really playing as a team. And it's rare to see a team come together like this early and go against this adversity and stuff. But I've been really impressed with how they've meshed and played together. What
about the Creighton game? Because Creighton was in control that first half.
Yeah.
We knew they were a good offensive team, and they showed it through the course of that game. The first half, 7 of 14 from deep. They shot Gonzaga out of the zone. Silas Melson was really the only guy that could get things going offensively in the first half. Then a completely different ball game. I mean, you just don't see a game turn as dramatically as it did, especially against a very quality opponent like Creighton.
No, for sure. And kudos to Silas because he really kept them in it the first half. He really had it going. Killian had it going, obviously, as well. But I think they were trying to switch the matchups defensively, maybe keep them guessing zone, man. But the way Creighton shot it, you couldn't stay in that zone. So to see them come out second half, whatever adjustments they made, they obviously worked. And then just guys started shooting the ball to their ability. So once you get Snacks going, Killian, J3, the whole crew, you can't stop a team like that when they're rolling like that.
What do you take from that now going forward? Because obviously you're going to face teams like that come March in the tournament. As a follower or a fan of Gonzaga, what do you kind of have in your back pocket when you think about what they can do in those situations now?
Well, they can play at the highest level against an NCAA tournament team like that, and Creighton's definitely going to be a tournament team, and look for them to make a run. So it gives you the confidence that you can compete at the highest level against the best competition, just like they did with Florida, Texas, Ohio State. And you just kind of hang your hat on that, and when you get down the road, we've been here before, we've done this. So it's nothing new once you get into a crazy environment, neutral environment, similar to Portland, which was kind of a home game, but, like they're going to face in New York, all that.
Yeah. We also got a closer glimpse at what Zach Norvell can do. The kid is a walking bucket. Let's take a look at some of his video. He was fantastic in that second half. 21 points.
Yeah,
all 21 points in the second half after, I think, missing his first 6 shots. Was 0 for 5 to start the game against Creighton. You need to see that offensive punch from Zach Norvell, and he really showed it in that Creighton game.
For sure, and you're going to see him, put together 2 halves, and you're really going to be wowing at the box score because he's had a couple of games where he didn't get it going until second half or, later in the second half. But to put up 21 points in a half as a freshman,
here we go.
It just says a lot about him and his game. And I think he might have missed his first 6 or 7 shots.
The Incarnate Word game had 17 points in that one.
Yeah, he just fills it up. There's no other way to describe him. He's a walking bucket. He's a microwave.
Heats up in a hurry.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we were expecting, what we were hoping to see out of him. Anything surprise you just in the way he's gone about his business there? Because he's had some of those freshman lows, but they don't seem to stay with him for very long.
Right. I think just the Creighton game, the fact that he knew that he had to play big minutes, and with Corey being out, he stepped up in a big way. And if you notice during the game, he missed his first shot of the half pretty badly, and Coach Hugh sent Jeremy to the scores table. I'm like, oh no, Snacks is coming out. He gets an and one, misses a free throw probably on purpose so he could stay in, knowing him.
So that's a veteran move from a freshman.
Yeah, and then he just really gets it going. And when he starts going, there's not a lot you can do to stop him. So he had the 3 going. He was getting to the hoop. I was really impressed with him. it was what people have been wanting to see for a while now.
He really rides that momentum, it seems like.
Yeah.
The nickname Snacks. We talk about the microwave. I love that nickname for him because he heats up in a hurry. But Snacks, where does that come from?
That was just his nickname when he got to Gonzaga. He's funny. He tells you.
Is he eating all the time or something?
I don't know. I guess that was his nickname in Chicago. But yeah, he just said, "Yeah, call me Snacks." So
there you go.
There it is now.
They needed those points from him because you don't have Corey Kispert. That's your boy. We talk about that all the time. Another kid from the West Side. What do you miss when you don't have him? Hopefully he'll be back for the Villanova game. It sounded like he had a chance on Friday against Creighton, but the ankle still wasn't ready. They said sprained ankle day to day. So again, fingers crossed that he'll be back sooner rather than later with a huge one coming up Tuesday. But what do you miss without Corey out there?
Obviously, he's a stat sheet stuffer. You know, he's going to get O boards, defensive boards. He's going to score, but he just does all the little things. He's in the gap. He doesn't let his guy back cut. You know, and he's just a presence out there, a big, strong body that, you know, if I was going up against him, I think I'd be pretty intimidated. So he just does all the little things and limits his mistakes really well. So he's not a high turnover guy or anything like that. And to get him back against Villanova would be huge because I think that kind of grit and toughness was missing a little bit first half against Creighton, but when you throw him in the mix, he makes up for it.
We talked about the challenges. You already faced a top 10 team in Florida, now a top 5 team in Villanova. What do you think about this matchup and the challenge, and what we'll continue to learn about Gonzaga, seeing them? You talk about Portland being a home game for Gonzaga. Now Villanova at MSG. I've been to a Villanova game at MSG.
Yeah.
It's going to be a home-type environment for the Wildcats. What will we find out about the Zags when they're faced against that type of competition now?
I think early in the year against a team like that, you know how good they are and how good their coach is and all that, but it's still about you as a team. And you scout them a lot and you know their tendencies, all that stuff. But if you take care of business and you do what you're supposed to do, then, you know, the other stuff's off the table. So you got to prepare and you got to play the game to the best of your abilities, and you got to take the scout to heart. But it's just another big test, you know. These games are not easy, and they're all, you know, stacked in these last couple of weeks. But if you worry about yourselves and take care of business, then you come out of there with a win.
Jalen Brunson's going to be a pro, and we're going to see him in the NBA, him against Perkins. I'm sure Silas will probably spend some time on Brunson defensively, but that's a huge matchup.
It's a great matchup, and I don't think Perk's getting the credit he deserves nationally. I think this is a big step for him, a big test. You know, playing at MSG, last time it didn't go too well for him with the whole jaw injury, all that, but. You know, Perk's shooting 54% from three, averaging near 14 a game, 4 or 5 assists. So I'm excited for him in that matchup because I think he deserves a lot more credit than he's getting nationally.
And coming off a tough game against Creighton, too. I mean, 5 points all on free throws, 5 turnovers. He's going to want to make a statement. What better opportunity than this? Then on Sunday, you got UW. And again, talk about you being a West Side kid. There's not as many guys that are from the state that maybe are familiar with the rivalry anymore within Gonzaga because, I mean, the program draws talent from so far and wide. But from somebody like yourself and from somebody that's played the Huskies as recently as last season, what does this game still mean to the program?
It means a lot. I mean, you're not gonna mix words with them. So UW and Gonzaga don't like each other. That's just the way it is. And you're not gonna play soft against those guys. A Pac-12 opponent, and Coach Hugh's gonna have them ready. These guys might be from overseas or different parts of the country, but he's gonna let them know that this is a rivalry game, and you go in there with your hard hat on. You better be ready to win. And
the Romar days, of course, over. And first glance at what Mike Hopkins can do, the former Syracuse assistant. Now with Washington, do you have a favorite Gonzaga Husky memory from like a decade ago when it was really a little more heated up growing up?
They're not as fresh as they once were. I mean, I'm getting old, but I can't think of, you know, a specific game. I cheered for UW growing up just because I was in the area. I would go to a lot of games. But I do remember Gonzaga beating them pretty much every time they played. So. Not one specific memory, but a lot of beatdowns.
Another cool story that came out of that Creighton game was Brian Pete, and you were tweeting about it. And this is awesome. You don't see this happen very often, but a kid that was special. A manager, and you're probably obviously more familiar with the story than I am, but some guys get banged up and they need a body, and trades the street clothes for the warm-ups on Friday.
Yeah, that was really, really cool for Brian, and you know, just a testament to his hard work over the years as a manager, but he's also been a practice player in spots, and he's just been around the game, and he loves the game. He works so hard, so to get to see him suit up and hopefully work out for the rest of the year, hybrid manager. It's really cool, and I'm so happy for him.
And you were telling me he can ball too.
Oh yeah, he can hoop for sure. You don't get to see how buff he is under the warm up, but hopefully we get a home game here pretty soon with a big enough lead to throw him in there. I know it'll be the fan favorite, but yeah, shout out to Brian P. That's really cool.
Very, very cool story. One of the interesting stories that came out of the PK 80 was a little soundbite we heard from Mark Few after the game. Take a listen.
28 years of doing this business. I've never seen. He showed up in his robe every breakfast.
Crucial. Yeah. The zebra print.
Yeah, zebra
Nice.
print robe for every. I've never seen that in all these years. But yeah,
So
seems
is
to be
it
working.
available in the hotel?
Seems to be working. I guess he's a robe guy. So.
Yeah. They had a zebra one and they had a cheetah one, so I mixed it up both of the days. In the hotel.
Yeah.
I asked them if we could take it, but they had a little fee on it, so I had to leave it back at the room.
There you see it. And Corey Kispert tweeted out the previous picture you saw of him in the print robe, and then Josh's girlfriend showing him walking the dog in a bright red robe as well. Did you know anything about this?
I didn't know he was much of a robe guy, honestly, but it's a good look for him, and it seems to be working. So let's make sure we get him a robe over there in New York before that game.
He pulls it off. I mean, Josh has some style and some flash. So
He's a
if
man of
anybody
many
can do
talents.
It, yeah. It's like Hoodie Mello is Robe Perk.
Yeah,
now.
the Robe Perk.
If he keeps shooting it well, Robe Perk.
Yeah, I like seeing some of the robes in the kennel, so I might have to bring mine out to the next home game for sure.
Yeah, that was a good look.
Yep.
Appreciate you stopping by as
Yep.
always. Enjoy the games this week.
Will do. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Rem.